The Utah Jazz have won 12 out of their last 14 games. And over the stretch, one of the key adjustments that they've made is putting Kris Dunn in the starting lineup. Now, when we look at Dunn's impact on the offensive side of the ball, there's nothing major to write home about. But Dunn is having a huge impact on the defensive end. Now, Kris, over this recent span of games, has easily been one of the best point of attack defenders across the league. His combination of length, speed, and physicality makes him an absolute menace when defending on the ball. The first thing we can look at is Dunn's screen navigation. Kris has the ability to dart and quickly cover a ton of ground, and when you pair that mobility with his length, he can give ball handlers some real problems from beyond the three. You'll see Andrew Nembhard here call this ball screen up in the middle of the floor, and as the screener gets set, notice how Kris is going to jump forward and rotate his hips, pretty much getting himself squared up with the sideline. But from this spot, he's given himself a clean angle to slide under the screen with no contact. Then he's going to extend back out and get a piece of the shot. Now on this play, you'll see Kris try the same tactic of rotating his hips and darting under the pick. But now the screener backs into him and takes away his angle to go under. From this spot, Nembhard should have enough space to comfortably rise up for a three. But again, Dunn has the quickness to extend out and alter the shot. In addition to all that quickness, Kris also has really good strength and physicality when defending on the ball. And this allows him to also step up and fight over these ball screens. You'll see Jamal Murray here initially get Dunn leaning with this right to left crossover, but from here watch how Kris is still able to fight over and scramble back to Murray to disrupt his shot. And plays like this don't always show up on the stat sheet or highlight reels, but they for sure have a huge defensive impact, because when Dunn's defending the ball in pick and roll, you're pretty much guaranteed to have no defensive breakdowns at the point of attack, which then leads to standstill offense and low quality shots. Now on top of all those physical tools, Dunn also has really good awareness while fighting through these picks. You'll see him here chasing Murray off these stagger screens. And as Murray starts to turn the corner, notice how he glances back and looks to hit Jokic rolling. But Kris plays one step ahead and jumps in this passing lane. We can see the same thing here, where Kris is now defending Nembhard in semi-transition, and you'll see him and John Collins briefly get mixed up from this ghost screen, which causes both of them to be glued to the ball. And as the screener starts rolling towards the rim, notice how Nembhard jumps up and looks to make this wraparound pass. But watch how Kris is going to slide across and make another play on the ball. So because Kris has really good length and physicality as an on-ball defender, he can also switch up and guard bigger forwards if need be. You'll see him here matched up against the much bigger Aaron Gordon. And when Gordon tries to spin into this baseline drive, watch how Dunn has the ability to slide and wall off his attack, to then extend out and poke the ball free. Now Kris can be just as effective when he's defending off the ball, and again his combination of physical talent and awareness allows him to be a monster when defending in scrambles. You'll see him here sink down to help on Giannis rolling, and from this spot he still has the quickness to dart back out and run this player off the line. And if that's not enough, Kris is also going to scramble back down and reach across to dig the ball free. And this is now a good time to talk about how quick and snappy Dunn's hands are defensively. Kris has a really good feel for finding these small windows to swipe the rock free, and he's also good about playing discipline. There's many plays like this where Dunn will stay vertical and simply use his height to disrupt shots. But what I think is most impressive is that Kris can still make these plays while he's in the middle of scrambling. Take this play for example. You'll see him here start off defending Tyrese Maxey, and Philly's gonna have him come up and set this ball screen. But notice how the ball handler is gonna refuse it and create a pretty clear attacking angle. But as he starts coming downhill, watch how Dunn is gonna teleport right in front of the ball, to then again reach down and find that opening to poke the ball free. Now, when we move on and look at Dunn's offense, he pretty much plays the role of your traditional pass-first point guard. And while I wouldn't necessarily say Kris is a top-tier passer across the league, he's still great at making simple and efficient reads. These off-ball pin down and staggered screens have recently been a huge staple in Utah's offense, and Kris is normally the one handling it on the perimeter and reading what opens up. Like on this play, you'll see Fontecchio sprint into this pin down screen for Lauri Markkanen in the corner, and Markkanen is able to draw 2 defenders by simply curling off the screen, which now allows Fontecchio to pop out for an open 3. Kris Dunn's size and length also gives him some real advantages as a facilitator, being able to use that height and reach to see over the defense. You'll see him here playing with the ball on the right wing. And notice how John Collins here is going to space out behind the screen. Most point guards from Dunn's spot would have to dribble across the key to make an angle for this pass. But Dunn has the reach to lift up and make this cross-court pass over for another catch-and-shoot 3. Now as a scorer, I think Kris does his best work when he's playing aggressive and attacking downhill. Dunn has a very good combination of ball handling, pace, and physicality, which allows him to overwhelm certain matchups. You'll see him here catch and take one dribble into this open space, and notice how he's going to give a small hesitation to then lower his shoulder and attack D'Angelo Russell's body and work his way down into a short floater. You'll see him hit a similar move here, where he now hesitates right at the 3-point line and works his way down for another short runner. And with the ball, Kris is pretty shifty, and he's comfortable using his handle to break down the defense and create attacking angles. You'll see him here bring the ball to his outside pocket, then aggressively plant his outside foot, selling the drive. And notice how much he gets this defender leaning. And from this spot, Kris is going to transfer the ball between and create a clear driving angle towards the middle. I love this move here, where Kris is initially going to hit that same drop between, but then he's going to lift up and hesitate after it, to then drop back down and attack the defense's body for a floater. And this bump floater works because Kris is able to get the defense so off balance, which then takes away their stability to absorb this contact. And then Kris can also leverage that downhill scoring to create more playmaking windows. Watch him here turn the corner off this handoff and pull 3 defenders across the paint, which opens up this backside lob. You can see the same effect on this play, where again Dunn's scoring threat pulls this big outside of the deep paint, which opens up another lob at the rim. Now the Achilles heel for Kris's game has always been his outside shooting, and that continues to be the case today. Over this 14-game stretch, Dunn is shooting below 32% from 3, and I think that does put a cap on how consistently effective Dunn can be as a reliable scorer and playmaker every night. But when we look at Dunn's overall impact on the court, I think he brings a ton of value to the Jazz as a point of attack defender. Having the ability to extend out and disrupt ball handlers, being able to navigate through screens to blow up actions, while having the physical tools and awareness to be just as effective when defending off the ball. And then offensively, Dunn is a solid point guard who consistently makes the right decisions and has the tools and skills to break down the defense and put pressure on the rim. If you want to support this channel directly, feel free to check out my Patreon for exclusive breakdowns. But regardless, I still appreciate you stopping by, and I'll see you on the next one. The Kids here.